Hiya, welcome back to another video. Back in Russet again by the Danube. We've not brought the Mavic Mini this time. We've brought the new Mavic Air 2 with us. We're going to see if it performs better, if we get less Wi-Fi interference, if we don't get any strong wind warnings. Let's see if there's an improvement now with this drone. Hopefully we should see an improvement. Right, I'm going to start recording. I'm going to do the takeoff. Now this is its first flight, maiden flight, never flown before. So I tested it yesterday, not flying, but I had a good look and made sure it was updated firmware wise. All the batteries were all charged up, so we're in good position. But anyway, basically I am going to do the takeoff button now. It's the first time it's flown. Let's see if we can just turn it round. Take it up a bit. Ooh, car bias. Didn't see that coming. Expect the drone did. Anyway, yeah, so we are... This is the first time we've used the controls. Is that the camera controls? Hang on. Gimbal controls, I thought. Yeah, there we go. That drops the gimbal down. There's a little wheel on the back. Basically, let's bring it forward. Oh, no. Bring it forward again, pretty much a standard sort of Mavic DJI quality. Stays really well fixed in the air. It's a little bit windy today. I'd say the conditions are very similar. It's not windy, it's quite low light wind. We've got a similar setup to what we had with the Mavic Mini. It's basically 30-ish degrees. Mavic Mini was a little bit hotter. We should, hopefully, I'm hoping that as opposed to the Mavic Mini, this will have a much better ability to handle wind, ability to handle you know, Wi-Fi interference and stuff, because it's got a much better system in it. Anyway, beautiful piece of kit. I was desperate to get it, and so I'm really glad I've gone and got it. Yes, I believe that it's partially not just my fault, because you know, the Mavic Mini was so delicious, if you like, but didn't quite prove to be, you know, as nice in the center. Anyway, right, so here we go. So you can put like, see, look, it's got obstacle avoidance, but it's not going up. That's weird, isn't it? Is it detecting? Come on, go up. Nah, I don't know, it's not. It doesn't behave like the Mavic Mini. The Mavic Mini would have gone flying up into the sky. Anyway, right, here we go. Maybe I could put something here. Something here. It's got obstacle detection anyway. Right, oh, it's not connected to the aircraft. That's weird. We lost connection to the aircraft there. That's strange. Okay, anyway. So basically, yeah, surprised by that. Yeah, look, there we go. See? That made it go up. See? Alright, let's bring it down. But it's great. You can go very close to these. They don't move, they don't mess about, they don't hurt you. Don't put your hands near the blades, of course. But yeah, I mean, basically, seems to be happy with me there, which I'm a bit surprised about, really. Is there anything in the settings about obstacle avoidance? Obstacle avoidance, bypass or brake. What if I set that to bypass? Huh? I don't know. It's not really doing what I expected to do. But anyway, I expect that is what it's meant to be doing. We got camera settings here. MP4 setup. We can set it to H.265, which we're going to do now, I think. Hang on, I think we've got to come out of here, turn off the filming and go back in, and then camera settings. Let's set it to H.265. Normal. Let's have a look at the settings for normal. And the colour profile, hang on. Can you not change that then? Don't know, let's have a play. MOV, can you set it to normal? That's weird, isn't it? Anyway, basically, let's go down through. We're set to SD card, not internal storage. One of the really cool things about Mavic Air 2 is that it has internal storage, so you've got 8 gig. So if you go out, you forget your SD card, you can still do some recording, although only around about 15 minutes at 4K, I believe. So anyway, you've got white balance there. We'll set that to auto. I think normal color profile, I think that's basically, if you put it in, you can put it in a flat light color profile or a normal color profile. Flat color profile, I think, is for working on it post-production. We're not going to be doing that, so just checking all the settings, go through everything. I think we're in good. Might back it off a bit. Hang on. Ooh, put it up a bit. It's a train over there. That's good, isn't it? Basically, yeah. Right. So I'm going to come out of that. I'm going to start recording, and I'm going to go and turn it round towards the Danube again, and we're going to see if we get some better footage, basically, of the Danube. I haven't had a single Wi-Fi warning yet. So here we go. It's quite fast actually compared to the Mavic, I'd say. Compared to the Mini or the Fimi. I think the Fimi is basically up to the same speed roughly. We're going to fly over the Danube now. Don't forget, this is its maiden flight. So this is the first time we've flown here. Not the first time we've flown here, but the first time we've flown over the flown with this drone. Here we go. Right, so you're about 60-70 meters over the Danube. Yeah, you see it out over the river. Basically, great thing about the Mavic apps as well is they've got like a good pointer, so you can sort of see where your drone is, because it kind of shows you like a kind of you know, radar at the bottom, you know, like a kind of you can see basically where your drone is, so I know it's directly in front of me, my line of sight out to the river. So anyway, I'm going to take it out over the river. Basically, if you're wondering what's on the other side of the river, that's Romania, and basically this side is Bulgaria, so there's like an international border, if you like, in between here and the other side. There's a bridge that goes across further down the river, which takes you, you know, we've driven across it many times. Sometimes we're just going across, you know, Bucharest isn't too far away, but sometimes we've been going back to the UK by car, and we've driven basically across that bridge and driven all the way to the UK across the European continent. And yeah, basically you can see that there are no, you know, saying it's a little bit overexposed actually, but it's basically, we're showing that there are no Wi-Fi issues. Now I've turned around, I've pirouetted around, I've looked at the camera, I've looked that way, I've looked the other way. There's no Wi-Fi signals, there's no strong wind warnings. Basically this drone, yes, it's more expensive than Mavic Mini. Yeah, it's a little bit you know, better quality, but it is proven to be worth that extra cost, because look, you know, you're seeing that basically there's no Wi-Fi signals, no Wi-Fi issues, and we can have a good look around the river. We can sort of like, you know, basically it's the same app as what the Mavic Mini uses. I've just turned on some of the features such as the histogram, which shows you shows you what's going on with your picture quality, and also you can see when something's overexposed because it kind of uses zebra lines. Just thought it'd be interesting to turn it on and show you. I'm not a film expert, so I don't know how to fix those issues when you see that. But basically, yes, you can see, like overlooking Rusay there, you can see the sort of zebra lines. The zebra lines are because I think the whites are overexposed in the you know, so it's sort of giving you a, you know, an ability to make a decision whether to change them, I think. You know, you can change your color profile, you can change a few settings to get better shots. But anyway, as you can see, I think we're getting a better view than we ever did with the Mavic Mini here. You know, basically going up and we're looking around and we can, you know, we can see over Rusay. I don't think we had as good a view as this with the Mavic Mini, so maybe the camera, maybe I didn't go as high last time potentially, but you're getting a much better view over the Danube here, I'd say. So once again, this side to the left of the is Bulgaria, Rusay, and to the right is Romania, and a town called Gheorghiu, which is just on the other side of the border. Not a bad little town. The only issue is that largely the same stuff that's available there is also available in Bulgaria, and I think Bulgaria is slightly cheaper overall. Romania is slightly more expensive than Bulgaria. It's a much bigger country, probably a bit richer. But yeah, you know, you've got Bucharest. Bucharest is probably between an hour and 2 hours north of here, and that's useful if you want to go, you know, if you want to get a plane. Basically, you know, Bucharest has a lot of flights because it's a major capital, so it's very useful for here for flights. But the border can be a little bit, you know, kind of busy sometimes, and you know, but it's another option. And also it's a big city with big malls and all the expensive sort of nice chain shops, I suppose, that you come to know and love in more developed countries, I guess. We're actually quite far from Sofia. Sofia's like it's a good sort of 4 to 5 hours drive away from here, so we're actually closer to Romania's capital. But yeah, you can see over basically the Danube, you can see over Rusay, and you can see that this drone is not having any problems with connection issues and strong wind warning. Although I am getting the odd time where it's sort of like the RC is going red, but it's not moaning about it. It's not pushing up on a warning saying, "Ah, you know, you're gonna have to do something." That's the difference here. This drone is just performing excellently. I don't think these are sort of cinematic moves. I wonder if I can change the mode. I think I can, yeah. So like if you wanted to make it turn more nicely, you can put it in tripod mode, and as you can see, the turns are a little bit more gradual. We can sweep round sort of more cinematically. Again, this is the sort of thing that I'm not sure the sort of cheaper options like FIMI X8 SEs get right. They kind of, you know, this is the sort of thing that I think DJI is worth the money, because they add these sort of features and they make them work exactly as you'd expect. The FIMI does have cinematic mode, which I didn't spot in the menu when we were at Buzzlodger, but I think this is just, yeah, I think it's a lot easier to do. It is actually sort of slightly complaining about signal, but I think not in the same way as the Mavic Mini. It's not affecting the ability of the aircraft. I think basically it's switching between bands. So it's going, oh, this Wi-Fi band's not good, I'll switch to that band. Oh, this Wi-Fi band's not good, I'll switch to that band. So that's what the benefit is of this drone over the Mavic Mini. But hopefully, you know, we're giving you a nice little look over here, and you can see some stuff. And so hopefully, if I fly, can I fly forward? Sort of have a look over the nice parts of Rusay here. Oh, I'll drop it down a bit. It's also got it's got a sports mode as well, where you can, hang on, sports mode, it's actually a switch. So you've got a switch down here on the controller. You switch it over to sports mode, and that turns off the obstacle avoidance, but it makes the drone kind of fast. So it can fly pretty fast towards places. So we're sort of flying over into like more into nearer Rusay now. So you can just sort of have another little look over the city there. It's got a lovely old town, and I'd love to sort of fly out over it, but I think it's probably not a smart thing to do. Yeah, so just sort of fly over this sort of area, give you a bit of a look, and just show you the comparison between this and the Mavic Mini, because I think the Mavic Mini is great, but if you can stretch just a little bit further, you're talking about $300 more, or is it this problem? Is it $300? Maybe a bit less, really. You know, basically, what's the Mavic Mini? I think you can get it for $399, and this one we got without the Fly More kit. I would say the US equivalent $799. So yeah, you're talking $300 more, but what you're getting for that is quite good, really. So it should be up over somewhere. Yeah, just look out over the river again. The downside, of course, of not getting the Flymore kit is that you end up without extra batteries, but we're actually trying a bit of an experiment. We've ordered a separate case. I'm going to drop it down because it keeps moaning about altitude, which is a bit silly because it's almost... So in the US you would get stuff like ADS-B, you would get an ADS-B receiver in this, so you would basically know if any aircraft were in the vicinity with you, whereas in Europe we don't get that. And I've since read, after getting it, that it was largely due to COVID. So basically DJI didn't have enough ADS-B receivers available, so they decided to prioritise the FCC drones, because there's a bit of a push in America by the FAA to get drones to have ADS-B receivers. So they basically equipped the drones in the US, but they basically decided that the European ones wouldn't have it for the moment, but they're kind of suggesting that in the future they may be able to make a Mavic Air 2 with them in. Whether that happens, I don't know. But basically your only option, I guess, is to try and get a US drone, but I think they would turn off the feature if you were using it legally in the EU. But of course there are hacks to get around that. I'm not suggesting that you should, but apparently there are hacks. Right, so in sports mode it's kind of like it's yawing all over the place as fast as possible. But basically, yeah, we thought we'd basically come up here. This is its maiden flight. We're not mega far from home. We thought we're going to basically play it safe, come back to the same place that we took the Mavic Mini out. Just do a comparison, really. Last time when we had the Mavic Mini out and about, we just put it back in normal mode. When we had the Mavic Mini out here, we took it out. We wanted to give you a view up over the new kind of development here, the nice parks, the nice sort of waterfront that they've got. You know, there's a nice cafe and a few things further up the river. We just thought we wanted to show you what they'd done. Immediately when getting up in the air, Wi-Fi warnings, strong wind warnings. It was the calmest day. Today is probably slightly windier, I'd say, than then. And we've had no strong wind warnings. We've had no Wi-Fi interference. We've had slight drops in the control signal, but I would say it's nothing in comparison to what we've put up with the Mavic Mini. You know, the Mavic Mini is great. It's a lovely little drone, but I kind of feel that it's a little bit still far towards the toy version of a drone, rather than being more towards the serious. This is for getting up there, getting some footage. I mean, look at it, this drone is sat up there now, it's getting footage, it's sitting in the sky, there's no issues. We're not worried about it, we haven't got any warnings going on. We're not sat here thinking, oh God, you know, is it going to blow away? It's up there, it's doing a good job, it's looking down at the river. It's worth every penny, isn't it? So basically, yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. You should get about 31 minutes flight time out of this drone. We're down to 41%, so we're going to start sort of, you know, it's 40 now. We're going to start, I think, thinking about sort of bringing it in, because you don't want the batteries to get too low. Some people will run them down to like they're practically empty, try doing range tests, that kind of thing, and yeah, it's really cool, you make a really cool YouTube video, but the issue with those sort of things is that these batteries don't like to get really, really low. So really you're damaging your battery, I think. So when you say you get 30 minutes flight time, we've had about 11 so far, but if you want your battery to last, you're probably not going to use that whole amount of flight time. So it's been up there for like 11 minutes, nearly 12. So is it that how, oh no, that's how long's left. So that's another cool thing about these drones. You can tap and it basically tells you that it's got 5 minutes and 40 odd seconds until it will come back to home. It's got 7 minutes and 18 seconds until it kind of will force you to land, so you don't want to be over the river, for example, in 7 minutes time, and in 10 minutes 51 your battery's done. So this is why they call them intelligent batteries. It knows what's available, and when it gets charged it knows exactly how to preserve the life of that battery. So yeah, we just thought we'd have a good look over, do pretty much what we did before, show you over the river, try and give you some better facts about the river that we didn't give you last time, like for example that's Romania, this is Bulgaria, this is Ruse, that's Gheorghiu. We didn't tell you any of this stuff last time and we neglected to, so best thing we can do now is probably send this drone back and try and get it back. I'm always worried when it puts that land button. Yeah, Emily's a little bit narky today, she's got some teeth coming through and she thought some scrote had stole her hat earlier, and we all had a bit of a barney about the hat, but basically as we were walking back thinking that we were going to give up on the day after a big bust up, we found the hat with some, I don't know if they were drunks or homeless, but they were very friendly and I think they thought we were stealing the hat, but I said, oh no, this was our hat. They didn't mind, they wanted us to have the hat, they were worried about Emily's safety of course, but very nice guys. I don't know if they had put the hat there for somebody to come back. I think they were trying to say that it had been there 1 or 2 hours. They kept saying Edin chas, 2 chasa, which means like 1 hour, 2 hours. Basically it's coming back down. We haven't got a landing pad with us, or we have, but we couldn't be bothered to get it out. And it's coming back down pretty much where we started, so that's pretty impressive as far as I'm concerned. You know, I think this drone has precision landing a bit like the Fimi as well, but precision landing tends to rely on a landing pad. But it's coming back down. There we go. That's where it landed. I just cancelled the landing. I just want to bring the drone over a bit to us. Hang on, I'll bank it that way. Oop. This one moves a lot faster. This one moves quite a bit faster than the Mavic Mini, and to be honest, maybe even the Fimi. But yeah, I just thought I'd bring it back. Drop it down. There's Emily. How you doing? Yeah, we just, you know, it's turned out to be a good day. We thought it'd be a bit of a lost day with the hat incident. We thought that somebody had stole the hat and kind of run off with it, but it turned out that she hasn't lost the hat again, has she? The hat is safe, but basically yes, the homeless / drunk people over there, they put the hat on the side. We walked by and we're like, oh yeah, that's our hat, can't believe that's our hat, and we got our hat back. There was a little bit confusion. They didn't know what we were saying, we didn't know what they were saying. I was trying to say, yeah, this was our hat. They were trying to say, I think, oh, somebody left it like 1 or 2 hours ago, but you should take it because you need a hat, little girl. And we're like, yeah, this was this little girl's hat. No problem, they were in good spirits, we were in good spirits after we found the hat again. It's a happy ending. And we got to fly this amazing drone, which we had to buy because the Mavic Mini wasn't quite as good. So yeah, you know, I'm not saying don't get a Mavic Mini. What I'm saying is, if you have your own massive warehouse with a very high ceiling, very, very wide, buy a Mavic Mini and have a good fly about. But hopefully you'll have a GPS signal in there. But if you're going to fly on a day where maybe, I don't know, there's somebody with phones nearby, you know, they might be using the internet, they might accidentally cough, just be careful of the wind around you, that's all I'm saying, you know. So this doesn't seem to worry so much about the wind. As you can see, it's sat there now. I expect it's going to land itself in a second, probably in about, you know, 3 minutes. But yeah, you don't want to be over the river when that happens. But I think these drones will always try and return home first. I don't think they'll just land in the river. I watched a film actually the other week where someone said they did go in the river, managed to get back out, but it fried their SD card. the drone survived amazingly. But basically, yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful drone. Really glad we got it. I think it's definitely the best of both worlds between the Mavic Mini and the Mavic 2 Pro. I think there's very little reasons why you shouldn't buy this drone. I mean, very little. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. I mean, yes, you may be tempted to buy a Fimi, they're a bit cheaper. You think you're going to get Mavic Mini price for Mavic Air performance, but I think you need to think to yourself, this isn't going to let you down, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be brilliant. You know, you're going to love flying this, you're going to love the controller, you're going to love the way the gimbal turns, you're going to love everything about this drone. You know, and you can't put a price on that feeling. Well, you can. It's $300. But that $300 will be one of the best $300 you've ever spent. And if it's not, you can blame me. But I don't think you will. That is an excellent drone. Right, we better land this drone, because if we don't want to ruin the battery. But yeah, all I was saying was, fantastic drone. Look as it goes down, look, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, right, now I'm going to turn off the recording. That's one thing this doesn't do. The Fimi turns off the recording when it stops, I believe. This drone doesn't, and I think there's a problem with that, because sometimes you can just go up to that drone and you can just turn the power off. And the danger with just turning the power off is you might corrupt your video, which you spent all that time flying about and taking. So you have to be careful, you know, you have to be careful that you turn the video off and make sure. I mean, apparently there's a fix for it, like when you turn the drone back on, if you quickly press record again and then stop, I think it closes all the other videos. But I think some people take it out, go straight to the computer, where's my film? And the film is all corrupted. So yeah, not just a thing to watch out for. But apart from that, this drone is just fantastic, and it's kind of got everything the Mavic Mini's got. It's got all that feeling like the Mavic Mini gives you of, oh, look how nice this is. But it's also got all the extras like obstacle avoidance, 4K at 60 frames a second, although we filmed in 30. It's got HDR, 30 frames a second only, not 60. It's got the quick shots, so you can do orbits. It's got waypoints, it's got tracking where it can follow you. Maybe we'll do some more videos about that sort of feature. It's got a lot of, I mean, there's features we didn't show you really. We just wanted to show you the difference between the Mavic Mini's poor Wi-Fi signal, poor wind handling in very clement conditions, and this one, which just basically, you know, it's slightly windier today, not one single warning. You know, that's great. And I think we just wanted to show you the differences really, and justify to ourselves why we went out and spent not only the money for the Mavic Mini, but the money for this as well. So that's why we've done it. And now you can see why we're so happy. This isn't its proper case. That's the case for the Fimi. The Fimi's now sat at home, you know, underneath the coffee table. It's safe, don't worry, be back out. But we found that it kind of fitted well in the Fimi case. So while we're waiting for our new case to come from the UK, we tried putting it in the Fimi case, which is very handy because it's exactly what we've been used to. But yeah, lovely drone. You know, the app's really good. You know, same app as the Mavic Mini. It seemed to handle both, having the Mavic Mini and the Mavic Air too. So that's a good thing. I'm going to move it out of the way because, yeah, I'm a little bit worried if a car just kind of drives over it, because it will, you know, potentially happen. But yeah, absolutely great drone. You know, it's got a lot of features that we haven't shown you, you know, stuff like the stuff we showed you with the Mavic Mini, which was like doing the droney. It can track you, that's one of the big things. So basically you draw a circle around yourself and say, right, follow me, and it can follow you from like behind. You've seen those videos of people biking away, not with me on, you know, and they're biking away like mad, and there's a drone following them down the road. And of course in their video it doesn't go into a sign, but I have seen a sign where, a video where the Mavic Mini went, not Mavic Mini, sorry, Mavic Air 2 went straight into a sign. You know, but I think that guy was pushing it to extremes. I mean, he was a professional cyclist, I think, basically going crazy through very wooded area. and straight into the sign at 40 miles an hour. That's another thing, it can do around about 40 miles an hour. That's another great thing, it's very fast. It's very comparable to the Fimi. I think a lot of the features are similar, except for this is probably a more refined experience. And I think at the end of the day, if you know, you can save money by getting a Fimi, they're great. I really enjoy one, but I tell you what, you'll end up buying this one anyway. So why not just get the Mavic Air 2, but get the Fimi as well, because the Fimi's great. You know, I would have both. In fact, I'd have a Mavic 2 Pro as well if I could get hold of one, and I probably will in the near future. So yes, you know, collect all drones that you can possibly get hold of. Why not? You know, but this one will be one of your favorites. Thank you very much for watching us today. We've had a great time out here. Yes, we had a bust up, but we're now sorted. Emily's talking to me again, Rachel's talking to Emily again, everyone's talking to everyone. We're talking to the homeless guys. We thank them quite a bit for getting our hat back. I've stopped basically shouting about scroats running around stealing all your stuff. We're all good. We can go home or go do some shopping, and we can go home really happy tonight, have a beer and think it could have been a lot worse. Thanks very much for watching. You've been great as always. Please subscribe, click notifications bell, like the video, really like the video. Just smash the like button as much as possible. And when you've smashed it, get your mates to smash it. Because without you doing that, you know, why do we come here? You're probably asking yourself that anyway. We do sometimes. But we're going to keep coming here, well, until we have to go home. But we're going to keep coming here as much as we can, and other places. We're going to do as many videos as we can. We may even get as many drones as we can. But what I'm saying is thank you very much for all your support. Thanks for liking stuff. Thanks for subscribing. Get more people to do it. Thanks very much. Take care. See you again next time.